joined with us for this today's session. So I welcome Ms.S.Subashree from batch 2018 to 2022 from the IT department. So ma'am is currently working as a full stack engineer in Java Cognizant Technology Solutions. So we are very happy to have you back, ma'am, in the campus. So we planned for an offline session, but still, because of some circumstances, we have planned for this online. Hope this online session will be inspiring and motivating for all the first year students. And we are, very equally happy and joyful to have you, ma'am. So let us start the session. Please, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Hi, guys. I'm Subashree here, working in Cognizant. First of all, thank you for inviting me here. And I thank Neelakandan sir for arranging this, and as well as Jaba ma'am and sir, Chitra Kumar sir, and thank you for it. So, as here as alumni, I'll be very happy to be a part of it. I'll just share my experience and the technologies which I go through, and the skills I learned, everything and all I'll share here. And in last, you can ask me what are the doubts and questions you have. I'll just answer it. First, as the topic of full stack development for IT aspirants. So, as a full stack developing is it will cover whole front end, back end, develop DB testing. It will cover all the development things under one thing. So, we as a IT people will first start with an we just know that a flow of the full stack development, like for example SDLC, you all know, right? The phases of the cycle of the development: first planning, organizing, developing, management, testing, and controlling. Like as a whole, we can have a process of how a development uh, the development phases we have. So, ma'am, next slide. Revati, ma'am. Yeah. Uh, as we all know, front end is for designing the web page. As back end, it will cover the coding and the process and execution of the development. And database is to store the content, store, retrieve, even delete, maintain the data which holds the complete protection of our development. Will have it in database. And API layers, which we create in the development, and the DevOps and deployment, which is will have the process of process deployment. That's why it's called FSC, is a full stack development. So, ma'am, next slide. So here I want to mention, like as a FS, I am working in FSC Java. So it will holds the we can play a role as an all rounder. You can work on a front end in a developing part. You can use that. Ma'am, next slide, please. Revati, ma'am. Hello, ma'am. Yeah. So the phases of development, first in the front end, we can have our design of the web page. Like for example, just like a WhatsApp or Instagram. Whenever we open an app or a website, we just as a first step, you can see the structure as a design. We just have to design that front end part as up to their wish, the client wish, or up to the developer. What is need to place in what and which style, font, the design, the structure of the development. it's to be come under the front end. We can directly use that application by using the web pages. Like that nowadays, there is an inbuilt UIs or there. In VS Code and all, when you just developing a code, that VS and IntelliJ, that software and all, right? Nowadays, IntelliJ is working as a growing rapidly. Like when you develop some set of code in that developing side, and the tool itself give you a next step to how to what are the designs you can use, or what are the items you can add on in that design. Like the IntelliJ itself recommend you to use that design for your development. So likewise, we can develop and design our front end page according to that. So it holds the HTML, CSS, JS, as you all know. These are all the basic child of the design. And HTML is a web page, and CSS is for styling, like fonts, color, and all. And JS, here only the intermediate, like the design of that front end is starting. So JS is a logic and interactivity. So here only the logic starting for how to design a front end page. And apart from this HTML, CSS, and Java, JavaScript, next we use the complete pack of React JS or Angular. It plays a major role in the developing of the complete front end web page. And it also has the Vue.js, Angular on the build tools as a Webpack. These and all the build tools we can add it in our front end page. Nowadays, Node.js and Angular is playing a vital role. So in our interview, or once you get into IT, there's the separate developers, like Angular developer, React developer, and people during I just want to mention here, during our college days, when we have an interview, we people, like our friends said and all, we just have our resume as a developed web page. One of my friend have his resume as a developed web page. So like that and all, you can do innovatively. If you are font in any of the front end development, you just do this innovatively by representing your skill here. So this is the front end, the client side web page of one of the phase of the full stack. Next, back end. So here the backend is the business logic, database interaction, authentication, and server. So the backend holds the coding part, which include Python, C Sharp, Java. Java is playing a big role in IT field nowadays. So I'm also a Java developer. Actually, now we people know what, like starting from a scratch or basic of Java. So once you get into it, you came to know the, like the framework, server, what are the technical thing which come under the backend part. And now you can see here in programming language Java, Spring Boot is there. No, it is one of the framework. So I'm working on that. Actually, as a whole, we can see as a Java as a programming language, and C Sharp, Python. So inside that, we will have some sort of frameworks, include Django, Ruby on Rails, Spring Boot. So it will hold, like for example, I can tell you one thing. You can take a Spring Boot or REST APIs. It will hold the in DB we do now get, put, delete, post, update, like that. The same thing only in Spring Boot microservice and all. Normally we'll just doing a database coding as a update, delete, research, drop a table, like the content. The same thing will just implement in as a coding in a backend. There's a separate tool as a Postman. You are using IntelliJ ABS code notepad, na? Like that. Postman is a one of a application. There you just give it as a in DB. You just given as a update the table, no? Like that. In Java, you have to call a class or a method, class method functions. You already know. Like that. You have to call one set of database name or the function name, and you just have to update, put, delete, post, get. That complete pack will come under the Spring Boot. You can do the backend development using this framework. So you just work on that complete pack of backend code using that separate application. So it is one of the application. There is more there. So you have to be in a font of any one of the language, guys. It will be for yourself also. You can gain more and be strong in that field. If you taken a Java, means you have to learn from a scratch, and up to that database connectivity between a Java and database. So it will be helpful for you in interview also, and to enrich your technical skill too. You can use the use or implement the same thing in your work field, or the technical thing will help you in everything. You just don't learn the basic and leave it. Just go to that in between main framework of the Java, or if you take your studying C sharp, means you just learn up to the some extent point. You just try to cover the main framework, how the application is working on. Just gaining that means you can enrich yourself, and it will helpful for your interview and in your career too. So actually I also started to prepare from third year, I think so, but in between that corona period, I'll just nearly spend 3 months to complete coverage of Java. I'll just taken 3 months up to the database connectivity. Whatever the language you are choosing, you just cover the main content, the framework, and the up to the data back into database connectivity. It will helpful for your technical skill to enrich. So it holds the programming language, the frameworks comes under the database, and the server Node.js, Express.js, and for the authentication. Lastly, I worked on one project. Like authentication is if you are font in one framework of development, means in between that you will get to know there is another field you can try this technology on. If you are font in Java, means you can use the XML authentication in some Express. For example, we use Udemy course now. It's a separate online website, but that's a link. If I'm working in a company, the company holds the Udemy course, so there will be an on tab as SSO. So a user don't need to log in. You just click on SSO, and user directly can get into the Udemy course by uh, using their company ID, or you already have an ID right now. We have a college thing, means we are using one online website which is connected to our college, means you just click on that SSO and you can directly get in. For that, we made an authentication app, not an app, it's just a web page. Like that, it's an authentication on authorization. Oh, it's a gateway. You just get in by using your authorization access. So these and all come under the backend. So everything holds the one branches of another. So if you get to start to learn one backend part, means there will be one branch. Everything is a branches here. So programming and the framework and the paths, everything and all you can covered accordingly. So this holds the backend. So front end is for design, and backend holds the main application of it. Next, database layer. So once we designed and developed our front end and back end, we just got to store our information in a DB. So database layer, it handles the storage, retrieval, and management of the data. Yeah, it has a two database, rational and irrational, NoSQL database and ORM. So it this SQL holds the queries and PostgreSQL, SQLite, and MongoDB and all. You don't have to. There's no SQL query to write on. You just it is a manual work there. And Cassandra, CouchDB, Redis, these and all the Redis and all in memory store, and Django or in Python you can use this ORM relational mapping. So database is to store and retrieve and manage the database. Though MySQL will have holds the query according to that. According to our development, we just edit and update our query. And MongoDB and all, it's a manual thing. Last project I work on here, MongoDB, it's guys, this one day I want to tell, yeah, so in DB you're just taking one thing and you're just learning or go through means you just for SQL you need to write on a query, you have to learn like what drop a table, update, joins and all. But in MongoDB, you don't need to write down a code or anything. It's a manual work. In unit testing, we just do a manual work, na, like that only. So you can easily understood. This is not in a project I did during my bench days. Like between a project and another project, you will have some sort of days, like 20 to 30 days. In between time, you just have to show yourself that what you did or what you have as a technical. You just want to represent what you know. So that time I just take one website from online, like launch.ly, this website name is. I just taken that website and developed myself. I just use a front end for Node.js, I think, Node.js, React.js, HTML, CSS, JS, React.js, and for backend I use Java, Spring Boot. And for DB, I have a zero knowledge how to work on DB, but one of my friend recommended, so I just used for MongoDB. I just learned it and did myself, but it is a manual DB only. You just don't need to code on yourself, but you can easily learn it. Sorry. Like that, you can just came to know each and every technique accordingly. So don't if you are in front of any DB means you just learn another thing. You just SQL means you just don't leave it. You just learn on another DB. It will helpful for you as well as now and future career or in your interview, etc. So these are all the layers or the DB which will have MySQL, MongoDB, Cassandra, and all. It's a database to store the data. So next, API layers. It is the communication between the client side and the server side. So it is a communication between a client side and a server side. As I already informed that REST APIs, it will hold the get, put, post, delete, and update. We can use it in Postman is a separate application. The API layers, it will hold a different application. You can use the GraphQL, WebSockets, this and all real-time communication. Yeah, these and all the layers of API layers. For if you taken one like in Java, you can use REST APIs, and Python one framework. Like the API, you all know that the 7 layers. This act as a intermediate between the client side and the backend side. So this is a API layer. You just go through the REST API. It's simple only. This layer, there is a separate API people, like framework people. They will just work on in every project. So as in a resume, I'm telling you commonly, in a resume, you just don't post it as a common, like I know Java, C# Instead of that, you if you are a font in any of the particular framework, you just know means you can place that too. Because as a whole we can see there's a Java, C Sharp, .NET, etc. But separately, like before I told you now, like separately you are font in any application or a framework, you know means you just place there to placed it there, and you just gone through this these two. This and all also come under technical only, not as a whole complete programming thing. But this and all coming under development. This also have a whole pack of work there. So this API layer. Ma'am, next. Uh, so DevOps, it's a playing a major role. It's a big platform. That's a separate team working on DevOps. Uh, I'll tell you this some briefly. So So DevOps or a deployment. So this is a layer that deals with the deployment, with hosting and integration and all the phases of DevOps. As you all know, the phases of DevOps, right? Code, test, release, deployment, operate, monitor, and plan. The complete phases of DevOps. It's a development. Here, the development and operation team work together to deliver the development. So in DevOps, it holds the cloud platforms and the tools, the version tool. Guys, you can see here, some of you don't know some of the technologies here, but here you can see the containerization and orchestration. There is a Docker and Kubernetes now. This is the first technology I worked when I get into Cognizant. I have a zero knowledge in it. Um, like I came to, I had know that there's a technology like this, but I haven't worked on it, or I don't have any technical knowledge on it. But this Docker and Kubernetes, you all know this VS Code, right? You just gone there, and in that extension, there is Apache Camel, Docker, and Kubernetes. You just install that extension, and you can use it in VS Code. For example, you already have one coding. You already have one program, means you just take on it, and you just add that extension Apache Camel and all. You just work on how it is working. That Apache Camel and all, it's just tracking and that's and all inbuilt US. You just add that extension and track one. It's like a one too many. Like we all do in DB now, like that. That's an extension part. You just drag at that inbuilt UIs and just use on it and just check on how it is working. Because these and all the growing technology which they are working on projects. Actually, for myself, I worked on 3 projects between these 2 years. Currently working in 4th project as a full stack. Um, this Docker, Kubernetes, and all, it's a easy technology. It's for okay, yeah, in React.js and all, we just developing the design, no? In between that, like in Java, we have a framework, right? Like that. In our front end design, you can add your Apache Camel, and Docker is a separate platform, and Kubernetes too. These are all you can have a certification too. You just add it in your resume, it will helpful for you. Because this is all growing technology, they are using it in every projects. Cloud platform, as we all know, AWS, Azure cloud platform, yeah, DigitalOcean. So the Amazon Web Services, you can have just to have a certification, or just mention it in your resume. It will helpful for you. These are the major cloud platform we are working on in IT, as well as for your career path. It will be more helpful. Jenkins, GitHub, yeah. In version control, you all came to know, right, that GitHub, that's an open platform. You just take on any projects and you can work on. Actually, I just want to mention here, when you get into your career, that already I told you, na, in between that 1 to 1 project, you have some sort of free, not it's like a bench days, like a 20 to 30 days, not maximum. In between days, you have to prove yourself, like you want to showcase what technology you know or how you can work on. So apart from that, they'll give you I worked on one project, so for that they immediately told, like, you have to do a manual testing of 70 to 80 projects. I just taken a GitHub and downloaded Spring Boot projects for 18 or 2. I just check on within a week. I just check on 70 to 80 projects manually, and I just delivered them. Like, for instant, I just mentioned, and I know that how to work on GitHub and manual testing and all. So I just mentioned that. So like that, each and everything will help you in one part. Your that GitLab, this version control and all, you can learn manually or using this website. That's a easy platform. You just gain your knowledge. And GitHub and all, it's a open source. You just taken any projects and you can go through, or you can redevelop it. You can use it for testing. All roundly you can do anything using those platforms. So you just learn from it. That GitHub, Jenkins, it will helpful for you, and it's a easy technology you can easily get into. um, and this will help you in your career too. You can add it in your resume. So the DevOps will completely holds the coding, deploy, process, execution, monitor the complete phases of DevOps, as you all know, the SDLC cycle, process, monitoring, and execution, that complete cycle. And guys, in cloud platform, you are just in cloud, you just font in AWS. The AWS means you just cover it as a wholly, uh, do a certification, done a one course on it, and like in a resume, you just want to mention a front end thing, back end thing, DB. Um, if you are a font in any frameworks, also you can just mention like, don't just mention like a I know React, that main common part. Apart from that, also we have a major technological field. So you just add on, if you are fond of it, you just add your other things too, like the frameworks, the API, that's in DevOps. If you're font in DevOps means you just add on, and the CI/CD tools, Jenkins, and version control, GitHub and all your very font things. You just add it in your resume too. It will helpful. And guys, here Docker and Kubernetes I mentioned. Apart from this, there's Apache Camel. So these three will in between these three, you just at least came to know any of the one. You just learn the technology, any one of the technology from these three, because it will help you helpful. And if you are an FSC or in a separate two in front end part, you just mention as a, Angular or React JS. You just mention Apache Camel, Docker, and Kubernetes too, because they will expect, like, if you know means it will helpful for your career and easy in your interview too. And it's not Docker, Kubernetes, and Apache Camel and all don't hold the big coding knowledge, etc. Some manual thing and inbuilt UIs and your work, the technological work you just gain, that and all come under these things. So it will helpful for you. Just you in your learning period, you just add on these technology, Apache Camel, Docker, and Kubernetes. And apart from that, if you are working, if you want to work or you just want to test one project, like I am mentioning and testing partner, like at that time and all, you just taken a code from a GitHub and you just do according to their development, you just have it in one side and just develop as like that, or develop according to you, have an example of it. And in GitHub also, you just go on and see how it is working on push and all, like the how it that platform is working. You just go on through it and you just mention in your resume, it will helpful for you. So this is the complete pack that come under the DevOps and deployment. So it holds the cloud orchestration, CI/CD tools, and the version control. It's a one of the part in development. It's a big part. And testing layer. So once we get a complete code, or we did our development, we just have to testing our development. So there it comes a unit testing and integration testing. Uh, is Harini? Harini, you have any question?
No, Subashree, you
Oh,
continue.
yeah. So in our testing, once we develop our complete development, we have to test our development. So unit testing, has a JavaScript and yeah, Mocha and PyTest. Integration test is a Superfast, Cypress, and Selenium. So it has another test as JUnit testing. We can use it in Java. Um, and normal unit testing is a manual testing, which I previously mentioned. No? You just for example, unit testing means you for your manual work, for your technical thing, you just taken a code from a GitHub, just do a unit testing, a normal manual testing. You have to check on the percentage, how the coverage is having. For a full development, yeah, your development will holds, guys, like you are taking on project, it will have what are the layers, it will have, you all know, right? For example, if you're I'm telling it briefly. Now we are taking on project from a car company, like the when we start or get into a project, we are doing it in a Java. At first, which package we will create? Normally when we start on a project, we have a POM XML. So this is the main one. When we start on a project, there we will save our XML files and all that extensions. What are the key things we added in our project? We'll have it in our POM XML. There we will add our XML things. So this is a child of the start of the project, where we holds our technical thing. What are the things we need to add into the project? There we have our extension in that XML. So the POM XML is the first thing. Second, model. So we are taking a core project means, first we'll create a package as a model. There we will have as a the I'll tell it as a wholly. In model, we'll have as a parts of the car, like tire, engine, color of the car. This and all come under a model. So the first package will have the model. Second as a controller, service, and integration. Like these are the packages which holds the project. So in model, we add that entities. No, these entities and all have it in our database. So you can came to know that the main entities and the packages name, which we have it in a development in a backend, which directly the backend will holds the database, right? So the entities and the name of the packages will have the database table. There we just having this information in our DB to store and retrieve later. So this is the model, controller, service, test integration. This and all the main packages of the um, our development. Later, I'll show you one of the projects. I'll have it. I'll just show how the representation of how the development should be. It will start from a model, controller, service, testing, this and all a package, and last we have a POM XML. And once the back end is done, we have a testing part. So we have a source, main, resource as a one package, as like that. Source, main, and test. What are the contents we did it in a backend? We have to test the complete backend code as a testing. So again, we have a source, test, and source, main, and test. We just create a package, and according to controller, we have a controller test. Service as a service test. Like for each and model test, for each and everything, we have to write on a test. So for example, we can do one thing as a JUnit testing. First, we are taking a controller, means we have to write a test case for a controller test, service for a service test. Like each and everything, we have to write a test cases to test on our backend whether it is working right, and the 404 error, 8 error, the error and all came. Like we have to test our like for this condition, our code will work or not. Like we have to do our testing according to our development. So it is one of the testing. JUnit testing is one of the testing. And other than that, you can check a unit testing. For example, in both the whatever the testing you do, and then it will show you a coverage. Coverage means past test cases. Like you covered these part, but this part and all haven't covered. Like when you write on a test cases or test code, it will represent that you just covered this part of code, so it is working fine. The test cases and all passed, but you haven't covered this. It will highlighted the areas which you haven't tested. Like I am going deeply, I think. Like it will represent what testing you did, and how it is working on. It will comes under the testing. So JUnit and normal unit testing and all perform like this. It will show you the coverage and the test cases passed, failed, and how the for this case this development is working or not, or for this case it is failing. Like it will represent you, and for your development, testing layer is a key where you can check on your development, it is working fine or not. So these are the test cases which will we have. For according to our your language, you have written for Java, Python. According to your language, the testing thing and all varies by your technology. Here, Mocha for JavaScript and PyTest for Python. And for Java, there's a JUnit. And manual testing, you can use it in any projects like Spring Boot and all. That is what I said. You just taken one project from GitHub. You just it is a manual thing, a step-by-step process. If you are new and fresh in it, means you just check on a Google. That's a step-by-step process how to check manually check one project. Manual testing. You can add it in your resume to that manual testing or like unit testing, JUnit testing. JUnit testing and all simple. You just write you have a 10 lines of code, means you have to write 2 lines of unit testing code to check whether the code is running or not. So you are placing, like I know front end this thing, back end this thing, means you can add on unit testing or JUnit testing. And in DB, I know MongoDB, SQL, and in framework you can add on Spring Boot, microservice. Like and this version control, I know GitHub. Like that, you can add on the technology which you are fond of or you just learned. No, you just mention there too. It will helpful for you. So these are all the things which come under the testing layer. So yeah, the center comes under testing layer. Ma'am, next. The version control, which I previously said, Git, GitHub, GitLab, Bitbucket. This version control systems are used to manage the code changes and collaboration between developers. We can we all have one separate path of user path where we can add our complete development in that GitHub. so that later I or we people can take on my code from there using some authentication. Once they try to get on my code, I'll get a notify so that I have to admit. So they just have to take on my code. And in GitHub, there's a open source too. Some of the users have open profiles. There you can choose or get any of the projects for your development purpose, for your study thing. You just take any of the projects from GitHub, just you can use on that. This GitHub and all, we just once we develop, we for a management purpose, we just have it in a have our code in our shared path, so that later we can use on. And each and every projects what you are work on, you just have your GitHub path or a separate SharePoint, you all know, right? Like that, it is working as a one managed collaboration between the developers and the to manage the code. GitHub, GitLab, Bitbucket. I worked on GitHub and Git. So you can take a code for push, put and all. You can if you already have a code in your GitHub, means you just have a minor changes, means you just edit from here and you just push your code there. Just editable things and all, you can push your changes in your GitHub. It's like a storage where we have it's like a library. You can just have your shared path, store your complete management of code there. Whenever you need, you can editable and you can share and all. For this, the version control, the GitHub and all working as a major role. So as a whole, that front end, back end, DB, API layers, this version control, testing part is all playing as a back of things as a full stack development. You can why I came to know this means, actually here I want to thank Raja Gopal sir, as you people know, I think. I, uh, I have to mention here this. When I ready for this interview cognizant, I just okay, I have to be attended, but there will be a two exam like Gen C and Gen C Elevate. The Gen C Elevate is for development. Gen C is a common exam to get into cognizant. I don't know how the development will work, and as IT people, we know some sort of things as a college student, but as a whole, we don't know, right? But sir told to, okay, you just write on Gen C Elevate. But if you fail in that exam, means for next 2 years you can't attend cognizant. But by there is a four interviews, 4 rounds, I think. For Gen C there will be 3, and for Gen C Elevate there will be 4, 2 technical rounds. But once I get in, they directly put it in a development as a FSC. So that's why we are working in all front end, back end, DB, testing part. Now I can tell, like, I know this whole phases in development, because I work between these 2.6 years. I worked in whole parts. I came to know that okay, I know something in FSC. I just worked in here, so I can deliver you people like openly, because I know that I worked here, and I came to know what are the technologies used on, how to work on manually, technically, everything. So I want to thank him, actually. uh, because of him only I just get it in this big part. Otherwise I'll just be in one technique, like a Java developer or a front end developer. That's a separate thing. Front end developers are separate one, back end developers, DB peoples, support peoples, testing part. So as a whole, we are doing as a FS, it's a all-rounder part where you can learn everything. You're having one single task, means now you are working and testing thing, and in next 2 to 3 days you will be in DB. And if there is an issue in GitHub or handling Jira is one of the platform where you can hold your step-by-step process of how to develop a complete project. First step is to design, like they briefly mention the how to the development of the project, it and all handled by you, or you just go through whenever you want, like that. So like as a whole, one day you will work on Jira, and the next day in design part, if there is any issue or you have to correct one thing, you just work on there. As a whole, you can place a whole player, like you can work on every technology you are fond of. So the FSC will help you people to develop and train yourself. Even now I'm also I'm training in it, because each and every day you came to know one part. Actually, last project only I came to know how to work on JUnit. For the complete project, I did a JUnit testing. It's a big project. It takes nearly 1 month. Yeah, for a complete project, we have to write a testing, the test cases. Actually, when I get into that, I don't know how to do it, but day by day, it will give you learning how to work on which field. And for the first project, I worked on Apache Camel. That time I also don't know, but later, with your developing skill, you just one day you just came to know one technology, and you can learn anything, everything from it. So it will move you one on a technology to enrich yourself. So as a whole, the FSC is playing this part. In doing so, you can feel like you will be happy to be here, because even though you haven't know anything, you don't know anything means you itself, or when you be in that place, you just learn and you can do, and give your role there. Just engage yourself there, and you just learn and get things from your colleagues or people, and how to work on it. You just spend time there. Like you can enrich yourself, and you can deliver the development and the work you're doing. So from this part, you can enrich yourself. So now itself, what I'm telling is, now itself, you just came to know what are the simple things like GitHub, small things, the frameworks. Rusty APIs is one of the framework, that like that you can just engage yourself and learn um, the following items, and you can put it in your resume for your career path. It will helpful for you. Way later, once you get into your career field, you just came to, you can detail the you can work on or learn yourself there. So as a whole, the FSC is holding these part of phases as a development. Ma'am, next slide. Yeah, here I have to explain the artificial intelligence and data science. I came to know there's some of the peoples are here in AI and data science. So I haven't worked on it, but I'll just convey my things which I know. So in artificial intelligence and data science, you all know it's a pack of thing. AI is playing a vital role actually. Nowadays, it is holding some of the plays which we people have to manually work, but it is holding on it. In Edge also, there is a one bot with AI that we are using in our company. There, if you are just given your code, means not like a chat GPT and all. If you just gave your yourself your work of code, means it will give you some sort of 5 to 10 sort of different design implementation for your work. Like Java, you can design as this. You can add a data structure to in the .NET, you can have this part of thing. Like in Java itself, they just giving us a 10 to 15 example of how to develop the complete project. So it is playing as a big role, and especially in learning and problem solving and all, it is having a big role. It is easily to perform the task that normally human people, we have some sort of intelligence, but in AI, we can have that learning problem solving. We learn from it. We can use that ideology in our development. Like it is playing in a vital role. So in AI, we have a machine learning, supervised learning, unsupervised learning, deep learning, computer vision. For example, in computer vision, it is some sort of separate uh, mm, work, I think, in video and image creation. Using the computer vision of AI, they have a basic design based of visual representation where you can show the AI work in social media and all. You can see some computer vision children's videos, like this and all spreading everywhere. But in our career and work field, you can use this computer vision work using AI. It is playing a big role. Or last one event is there they just elaborated the complete computer vision of AI with the persons and their work. The person who is nomad, they just extended it as a complete video creation content of 5 to 10 minutes. So it holds the complete thing. This and all comes under AI. And the robotics expert system, the decision making and problem solving. Problem solving, that's a it's giving a bunch of solution for it. Like it is delivering how can we have this question and have an answer for it as a 10 to 15 waves. Like it is explaining, giving chances to work on in different field as a different types. So you can use it in a good way, and anonymously the AI is used to improve our decision making. You can use on this. We don't want to focus on the same sort of path, and in between that there is a lot of to improve ourselves, and in making the decision in problem solving and all. You can have it in these set of ways. You just as a human language and machine language, we have to understand and respond according to their problem, right? So it is playing as a the solution making and giving a interaction between the computer and the human language. So by this way it is working on as a whole. You can, as artificial intelligence, you just go on the computer vision thing, ML, ma'am. Okay. So whole thing you can do like this. So in data science, it provides the tools and methodology for gathering, processing, and analyze the data. And while in AI, it's a decision making, prediction, and optimization. So what AI and DS combines together means? Ma'am, next slide, please. Yeah, it is analyzing and a large database to produce a business solution. It's a data science. And artificial intelligence, where we program and given a software to think like a humans, like representing the solution and all. It's an AI. And for business thing, data sciences are playing. We can it's analyzing the problem and a large database to produce a business solution. By this way, they both are performing differently, and as a whole we can use AI ideas as to represent our business solution in a modern way. Ma'am, next slide, please. So in DS it is focusing on the exploration and interpretation, useful like a pattern insights and predicting the model from the data. So it is predicting in DS we have one robotic thing. I forget the technical name. So we have done one project, and the project is about, it's a nighttime. The robot is having doing a monetary thing. For inbuilt, they have a microsystem and vision control, microsystem, vision control, and smell thing. Yeah. For vision control, it has a inbuilt thing of if there is an abusive or some other sort of images he's seen, there will be an alarm. And for the smelly thing, if it smells like a worse, like some sort of conditions they apply, and that is for smelly thing. And for noise, they give given a harsh and loud and some sort of um, uh, things they given. So these and all, if the robot will hear sense means, it will do a one work like that. They just developed with AI in DS, that machine learning too. It's a complete project. They just showcases in that event. Like that, it is performing the major role AI in DS. Yeah, we people just went for it. Have a look of it. They done a big job. Like there also be developing people have that work as a backend, and the ideas work on the robot, and those people will monitoring and gaining that information, and performing of that robot. This complete work and all holds there. So it represent superly. So by this way, the AI DS is working together, and for this visual thing, the working of a backend informations. Here they used their Visual Studio too. You all know, I think. So like this, the each and in every part, what are the work we are doing, everything holds the some technologies which we know. So everything is playing there as a part. So by this way, the AI DS is working together. And for example, machine learning model trained by data science must be used by an AI system to make a real-time decision. So the ML. So like this way, the AI and DS is working together. Yeah, ma'am. Next, please. Yeah, what is the future trends in AI and DS? So AI will become a most integrated and decision making process, and it holds the ML machine learning process that will build the MI model without deep technical expertise. But in edge AI, running a algorithm or devices like we are using in a smartphone, cloud servers, it is enabling the faster and most efficient decision making. Ethics in AI is addressing the biases of AI algorithm. There will be algorithm and privacy things, and developing responsible AI system that avoid the harm. So there will be an ethics to work on in AI. So this and all comes as a whole. We all know in future AI will create a big impact. So as a whole, and AI and DS is working together. Next, ma'am. So, guys, I just delivered what I know, and I explained it, I think. So, if you have any of the questions, whatever it is, you just ask me. I'll answer you, people. And here I want to mention one thing. So for while you just starting for your interview, you have to be strong in your English communication. And first is your self intro and your resume, and you in person. So for your resume thing, ma'am will guide you, I think, as well. And please be note on that, don't focus on the front end that four language, back end that four language. Apart from that also, you just cover on the framework, APIs thing, DBs, testing thing, that version control technologies. What are the technology you just want of, or you just know, you just add it there. It will helpful for you. And yeah, the resume for your communication purpose. Seriously, I want to thank Jabba. She helped me in that. Not for me as a whole, how to pronounce or how to speak, the way of speaking, each and everything from the day one, from first year to final year. She is my mentor for communication. So I want to thank ma'am. So for a communication thing, you just be good in it. You can take a guide from our ma'am, because yeah, once you get into your field or during your interview phases and all, you have to speak boldly, and what are the things you have it in your mind, you just have to convey it clearly, because some people will be will forget or the nervous thing. It's a common for all, but you have to deliver what you have it in your mind, because the opposite person will don't know what are the things you know, or okay, if you are being silent means they came to know like okay, he or she don't know anything, or that's why they are simply sitting like that. They will predict ourselves, no, that we don't have to give that chance. You just be boldly like deliver your content, by words and in your resume. Like you have to represent yourself with full confidently. So English is playing a major role, the communication thing. So next to that, in learning thing, once you for example during your training for your interview, you just cover first in front end. I need to cover HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Then in backend, Java and DB, SQL. In testing, a normal unit testing, I want to learn. Like in one part, you just try to cover one technical thing accordingly, so that you can deliver yourself as a whole. So, and you can use open platforms in the bricks skill track and all. You can use according to the things, like I mentioned previously. According to that, you can learn and work on skill track. It will be helpful for you. uh, so if you're doing taking Python means, you just start on from beginner level. Just try on 1 2 3 codings, 1 2 3 examples from a day one, and it will helpful for you to develop yourself. So make useful of that skill track too. So by this way you can develop and enrich yourself for your interview or get into IT, guys. So thank you. Is there any questions? You just ask me, I'll answer you people.
Okay, dear students, you can clarify your queries. You have any questions to ask your senior? Definitely you can ask. Unmute yourself or you can raise your hand and you can ask your questions.
Guys, you can unmute yourself and you can ask me. Or just drop a message in chat. Just speak up, guys. Whatever it is, the questions from anything, you just ask me.
GitHub.
GitHub is it's an open platform where you can take. There will be a set of n number of users. They have the user ID. Like in Udemy, we have our profile. No, like that in GitHub also they have a profile. We people will what are the development we done? No, we just have our projects there. Whenever we need, we can take it from there. Or if my friend is requesting to get my projects to work on or to for a helping guide, the people can get from there. And this is a separate common platform as a apart from our work. But in work also we have our share path in GitHub. There we can share our code. My work I have to share there, and my teammate have if he or she wants to work on means. They just taken from there. And me also, if I'm completely finished the project and I'm just push it there means I need to edit now. I have to edit from my page itself. I just push my changes there alone. So like GitHub is performing as this. For example, I mentioned I did nearly 60 to 80 projects of unit testing in GitHub. Because the time they just develop one project. For that they needed a complete 80 to they mentioned like 100 projects of unit testing, but I did 60 to 80 projects in a week. I just take Spring Boot projects. It's under Java Spring Boot. I just downloaded projects. Still now I have it in my lab. I just downloaded 50 to 60 projects, and for each and every project, I just extracted the files, open it in Spring. This one, what is this name? Spring tool suit, yeah. This one I just open it and do a manual testing. Like we need to check on a coverage. What are the if you have a complete code of projects there, means you just check on how the project coverage, what's the percentage of the coverage of the project. This is a manual testing. Like for each and everything, each and every project I did that testing like that. It's a one of the way of working in GitHub. Like that you can use the GitHub in a various way. So GitHub is performing in that way. You can use it. You just came to know how it is working on. So it's a manual work, and push put and all. You just from here you are going to push your code, means you just have to do that step and you can push your code there. Like that it is working on. If worked on, I'll show you. Yeah, so yeah, by this way the GitHub is working on. You just have a one ID. You just open your profile there, and you just work on how it is working on. Okay. Thank you.
Any more questions? You can unmute yourself and you can talk. If not, you can drop a question in the comment box.
Platforms we can learn more on artificial intelligence and data science. Actually, Jennifer, I haven't worked on this platforms yet, so I don't have knowledge on it. But for learning platform, you just have it as a you can course or certification. Because on seeing my friend, I just inspired to. Okay, I also have a part of that. I informed you on event that robotic event. That time I inspired, and I also be a part of it. Like just long for it. She's mentioned like just do one course or just taken one certification, because it will hold from scratch beginning to the end level. So you just start on doing that, means it will helpful for you. Like you start on from a computer vision, ML, because it holds these small part as a ML, computer vision, problem solving things, and how AI is working on with DS, how it holds the ML, deep learning, because the AI holds the deep learning, machine learning, there's the data science and all. So you just start on from that. And if you start on from the computer vision, problem solving thing, interpretation, means you can cover most of the parts. Like as I in developing I told na, like you just cover the framework and it will give you that extent of next level. Like likewise you just start on from that scratch. You can take on a course or an certification. You can learn on from the beginner level. You can easily get into the platform you can go is Udemy is a good one, because we people also get learning from it only. The bricks, so these are the platforms you can easily understood and get into. Thank you. Any other things, guys?
Thank you, Subashree. So you are giving a wonderful lecture about the role of full stack holders.
Yes, sir. Sir, one second. Sorry to interrupt. I just want to show these people one thing. Can you share my screen, ma'am, for a second? Sir,
Okay, Subashree.
guys, I mentioned you now. Is my screen visible? Anyone, please
No,
unmute and
ma'am.
let me know. Ma'am, is my screen visible? Hello?
சொல்லு screen is not visible ma.
Not visible.
Actually your face is appearing, however there won't be no appearance of any PowerPoint slides.
Yeah, one second. Now, sir?
No.
No, when right
Ah,
now
now,
Yes, ma'am. Now
okay,
it is
okay.
visible.
Now it's.
Yeah. Yeah, guys, I explain now like how a structure of a project is, how a development is. Like here, you can clearly see source main Java. Here is a development. Like it holds the controller, model, the repository, service, and utility. This is the development of the Java code. And directly to this, we have a test code, source test and Java. For each and everything, we have to write a test cases: controller test, model test, service test. So when you start on a project, we have a form XML, right? This is the child of the project. Once you start on a project, we have a form XML. So this has the parent or artifact and all. So if you are going to use the one of your framework as a Spring Boot means, you just have this XML path. You just have to add your parent so that you can use this framework in your Java main framework. So each and everything, like Java, which version you are going to work on, like 1.8, and the Spring Boot you are working in Spring Boot or dependencies, and Lambok repository use பண்றோம்னா அதோட dependency. நான் இங்க database வந்துட்டு I am using H2 database, so I am using the dependency as H2. And நான் இங்க டெஸ்டிங் வந்துட்டு JUnit டெஸ்டிங் பண்ணியிருந்தேன். So that's why I'm adding as a JUnit dependency here. So each and everything will holds in the form XML. And நான் ஏன் இங்க represent பண்ணேன்னா this is how a project should be. So இதெல்லாம் தான் கவர் பண்ணிருக்கோம், like control model and repositories. This is the structure of the development. I just want to show you people. நான் மென்ஷன் பண்ணியிருந்தேன் இல்லையா, I just did one development, and so this is my first development before 2 years. So this is how a project should be: a main Java framework and the testing thing, and it holds a form XML. And here I used H2 database now, so it will hold there. So I just want to show you people. That's why, yeah, I hope you all got it. You got something?
Yes, ma'am. Sure. Our students would have got something, like not something, they would have got a lot of information from you.
Thank
So
you.
there are no more questions. So with that, shall we wind up, ma'am? If
Yes,
you don't
ma'am.
mind.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Yeah. So I would like to extend my thanks to our alumnus who has expressed her gratitude so greatly and deeply throughout the session. So thank you, ma'am, for joining us. So I also thank our head of the department, Dr. M.A. Neelakandan sir, for being a part of this event. I thank Jaba ma'am as well as Tamba sir and Chitra Kumar sir for arranging this interaction. I thank all the faculty members and students who have attended this event. So thank you all. Thanks once again, ma'am, for joining amidst all the hustle and bustle we are undergoing now. So once again, I thank you all and have a nice day.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Subashree.
Thank you, sir.
So I learned about something full stack developer. What is the role of full stack developer? From you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Chitra Kumar sir. Thank you, Tamba sir. Gopika ma'am, thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Jaba ma'am.
Thank you,
Have a
Subashree,
good
for
night.
your
Thank you.
intellectual presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Surya. Bye.
Thank you, ma'am.